is about breathing and some relaxation breathing. Breathing to enable you to unwind, to cope, to manage stress, to help you go to sleep, for a midday break when you're working at your computer. So you'll see behind me that I've got a bit of a setup here. You can do this breathing exercise seated in a chair. You can also do this breathing exercise lying down. So what I've got here in my lying down position is I've got one blanket on top of another blanket that's folded, and that's folded in a rectangle. Yeah. So I've got that, and then I've got another blanket to give myself a little bit of height. Now you don't need to do this. And this blanket's going to be placed right at the bottom of my rib cage. But you don't need to do this. You could do this in sitting on a chair or on a bolster. You can also do this lying on the floor or lying on your bed. Do it before bed. Do it when you wake up in the morning. It just really the key is having comfort and finding the position that really works for you. You'll also see that I've got a bolster here because when I'm setting myself up, I'm going to have myself with legs over bolster and then lying back like this. That's where I'm going to set myself. You could not have a bolster. Instead, you could strap your legs. And you could even place a block between the legs. The idea here is to find as much support and as much comfort that you can so that you are exactly that, supported and having comfort. Okay? So then you can have a block and a strap around your legs, and that can provide some really nice support as well. Okay? So you choose for yourself what makes the most sense given the kind of props that you have, given the comfort level you want to have, whether you want to be seated, whether you want to be lying down. The other thing I've got here is the pelvic floor, which we'll get into in a moment, and we'll also talk a little bit about this little breathing tool here. But first, I just want you to grab your stuff and get yourself set up. Okay? All right. So the beauty about breathing and really focusing on your breathing and taking like practice sessions for breathing is that breathing is one of those things that's so, what's the word I'm thinking of? I'm having a block. It's it's not given the focus it could. I mean, it's it's your own. You don't need to go anywhere. It is your own that you can work with. And the power around exploring with your breath, allowing yourself to relax and learning how to relax by playing around with your breath and exploring it is huge, right? And so there's a treasure trove of exploration and practice you can do with your breathing, and this is one. So here I've got this little toy that I love to use where it expands in all directions. So your breathing is the same way. So your breathing, here's the pelvic floor and the bottom of the pelvis here. When you breathe, that pelvic floor tends to drop, or we want it to drop along with the diaphragm. So these two are dropping, and your ribs are expanding, and your lungs are expanding. So and when I do this, I actually mean your lungs are expanding in all of their directions, hopefully. And so this is the way that it's moving. So breathing, even though we tend to think about it as either some rib cage or chest or belly, it really is whole body, right? And this really helps to have you see that. Now, you might not feel like it's whole body right about now. You might feel like you're limited or constrained or constricted. That's okay. You might even feel that how your breathing is during the day changes. That's okay too. It's not like we're need to have free, easy breathing all of the time. No, not at all. Your breathing is an indicator about how you're doing, right? And so when you notice that it's getting a little bit limited and tight and constrained, then go and do something. Sometimes you'll notice after like you do a big workout, whether it's a weight workout or a yoga practice or a run, you might want to add a breathing exercise. Or even sometimes when I run, sometimes I even think about a breathing exercise while I'm running. So there's lots of places to explore breath. Okay, so along with that, we're now going to come down and you're just going to rest into whatever position you're doing. So again, you might be, let me just get this set up again, in a chair. You might be on a bolster. I'm going to actually bring my legs into Baddha Konasana. And just get comfortable wherever you are so that you can have an experience of comfort and ease. And what I would love for you to do is just to notice yourself breathing. And become aware of the texture, the quality of the breath. And so it's like, is it smooth? Is it ratchety? Is it thin? Is it full? And then where do you feel it in your body? Do you feel it in your ribs? Do you feel it in your belly? And try not to change it to where you think you should feel it. Just notice where in fact you do feel it. Okay, so now we're going to do 2 breathing exercises today. The first one is going to be an inhale, pause, inhale breathing. So you're going to inhale halfway, and then inhale the rest of the way, and then fully exhale. So the inhale halfway is that there's a momentary pause, and then inhale the rest of the way, and fully exhale. All right, and then let that go. And breathe without pause. And now notice the quality and the tempo or the pace of your breathing. And then let's move into the next one, which is a full inhale, and then exhale, pause, exhale. So inhale now fully, and then exhale, pause, exhale. So sometimes with this version, the second half of the exhale can kind of flitter away. So really pay attention to where that pause happens. And then easy breath, let it go. And now you're breathing without the pauses, and notice what it is you feel. All right, lovely. Now, what I'd like you to do is we're going to think about sounding vowels. Now, lots of times with this breathing exercise, we actually sound them out loud. For this one, I want you to sound them inside. So I want you just to think about them as you inhale. Think about the word A, as in A, like A. We sometimes, as Canadians, people sometimes tease us for saying A, the letter A. So on the inhale, in your own mind, say the word or vowel A. And notice where you feel, even just thinking about that vowel sound, think about where, and notice where you feel it in your body. One more. Now think about the vowel sound E, as in the letter E. So on the inhale, sounding in your own mind's eye, or your ear, sounding the word or vowel E. You may even feel the shape of your mouth changes as you think about this letter. Now think about the letter I. So you're sounding the letter I in your own mind's ear. Notice where you feel it in your body. And then think about the letter O. think about the letter U. Now let the sound and the vowels completely go, and now just come back to your breathing and notice what it is you feel. Notice if the quality, whether it's the smoothness or the relative other qualities, ratchetiness, fullness, emptiness, whether that's changed. Notice if the pace has changed. Notice if anything else in terms of your breath has shifted. Now you can stay in whatever position you're in for as long as you'd like to stay here. When you're ready, take some time, if you're on your back, to take a few more transitionary breaths before you roll on over and come on up. And if you're already in seating, whether on the floor or in a chair, again, just take a few breaths before you carry on with your day. But one last thing before you do carry on is just notice what this feels like. And if this is a positive feeling that you're experiencing, then consider that this can be a new normal for you. And really the only thing that's between you and a new normal being a normal is some practice and some consistency. So throughout your day, throughout your week, just tune in, connect into your breathing, and see what intervention that you can provide to enable your breathing to become a little smoother, a little freer. Allow it to support you in relaxation and in beating your life. Have a really, really, really great day. We will see you tomorrow morning. Take care.